When you think of Godzilla, what comes to mind? Cities crumbling? Epic kaiju matches? A radioactive behemoth establishing dominance over everything? If you answered playing a turn-based board game on a hexagonal grid as your answer, congrats, you're today's winner. You're also the prime target audience for 1988 Godzilla Monster of Monsters. On the back of the box, it says the invaders from Planet X attack Earth as part of their plan to conquer the entire universe using a legion of space monsters. Earth sends Godzilla, the strongest monster on the Earth, and Mothra to defend itself. Godzilla advances through 8 battle stages to defeat a legion of space monsters controlled by Planet X. For the sake of the future of the Earth, Godzilla's fierce battle now begins. This premise is exactly the beautiful nonsense we accepted in the 8-bit era. I never played this until a couple years ago, so I'm relatively new to this. Obviously know the nerd episode on it very well. Gameplay is split into 2 phases. First, you have the overworld, which plays out like an alien game of checkers. You control 2 pieces, Godzilla and Mothra. You move them across the board and try to reach the enemy base or intercept an enemy kaiju, which you have to fight the kaiju to get stronger, which is kind of important. Because if you don't do that, you end up kind of weak, and you really got to balance both monsters. Pretty important to get them both strong. When you land in space, the game shifts to a 2D side-scrolling action level. You'll spend 90% of your time. If you ever wanted to know what it feels like to be a 300-foot tall lizard repeatedly kicking rocks and swatting at tiny annoying spaceships, this is your holy grail. The levels are brutally repetitive. You walk right, punch a volcano, get swarmed by fighter jets that push you backwards, and keep walking right until the level ends. Then you do it again and again. You go across Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, Neptune, and finally Planet X. Godzilla is very slow, clunky, but hits like a freight train. You're usually slowly getting through the level with Godzilla, but his power blasts and tail swipes usually take out most of the kaiju pretty easily. Mothra is much faster and can fly, but everything knocks you to the bottom of the stage. Super frustrating to get through a stage with Mothra. Once you get hit, everything just keeps you on the bottom, and she's a lot weaker. Mothra sucks. Speaking of boss fights, this is the main event. Whenever your pieces collide with an enemy piece on the board, you enter a one-on-one fighting game. It's actually an impressive roster of Toho history. It's got Ghidorah, Moguera, Varan, Hedorah, Baragon, Gigan, Mechagodzilla, and finally King Ghidorah. Ghidorah and Moguera and Varan were in Godzilla movies, a little bit of stock footage here and there, but he never really fought them at that point anyway. The sprites are massive, colorful, and genuinely impressive for the NES. The combat mechanics, however, are a masterclass in frustration. The enemy AI has one goal, backing the left corner of the screen and stun lock you until you die. Fighting Gigan isn't a test of skill, it's a desperate struggle to escape the corner trap of doom before his buzzsaw shaves off your entire health bar. Godzilla Monster of Monsters is not a good game, I'd say. It's aggressively repetitive, very stiff controls, and at some point, you're going to probably mute it with the repeated sound of Godzilla punching a boulder like he's Chris Redfield. Yet it's kind of unforgettable. It's got an undeniably decent soundtrack. The sprites are really cool, I'll give it that, and it's a lot better than the sequel, I think. It's got a strange atmosphere to it. Inspired a whole creepypasta with Red. Maybe we'll jump into that sometime if you're all interested. Yeah, give it probably a 5-6 out of 10 as a game, but 10 out of 10 for the fever dream, because you pretty much go to every planet's dumpster where everything just flies at. Play it once to see the sprites, write the password down, and just go watch Destroy All Monsters. They do have the Destroy All Monsters level, so you can actually play that, but then the game glitches out if you beat that. But that one's kind of cool to just play once. I recommend doing that over playing the actual game. Like, comment, subscribe, share it. Let me know your thoughts of Godzilla Monster of Monsters. We're getting right back into Godzillathon and how to start with the game. Looking forward to going through the rest of the movies, and we'll see you all in the next one. Thor out.